Today we're looking at a new AI app that solves the biggest problem in selling advisory services in an accounting firm. I last ran a 40-person firm, and what we're looking at today, it fundamentally changes what scalable advisory work, whatever you want to call it, looks like. And it's an example of my favorite type of AI for accounting firms right now. Let's get straight into it. The tool, it's called Aider, and it was part of the AICPA's 2024 Oops All AI Startup Accelerator. Let me show you a bit about how it works. So basically 2 dashboards inside of Aider. The first one is the advisory dashboard. And the idea here is that we can see which of our clients need help and why. So right now we've got 10 clients connected. We can add as many clients as we want. All you gotta do is connect the Xero or the QuickBooks file. And the 2 things I like about this view, first is it just shows, is it up to date? Like, has everything been reconciled up to current? And for all the big brain frameworks and platforms and tools out there around selling advisory, the problem that 90% of my clients actually have is they don't keep their books up throughout the year. So imagine having this plugged into your client accounting files, whether you actually do bookkeeping for them, whether you just do tax for them. Imagine having all of them connected and then like on the 20th of each month, sending an email out to a bunch of clients. It's like, hey, we see you're like more than 2 months behind. Do you want some help catching up? This dashboard, it takes all of the work of going out and figuring out who needs help, right? And then the second nice thing it does here is it bubbles up some like financial info from the file. So revenue, net profit, cash position. If I can see that a client is like tanking the last couple months or cash is getting tight, like I can see all that stuff in this view, and I can do that proactive thing, which is something that we probably all strive to do much more than we actually do. And there's so much work to be had if we actually make a habit of this, sending clients an email just a few times a year that's like, hey, I noticed this, that, or the other thing, do you want some help? That's a source of new business in our firms that 90% of us just aren't tapping into because we're perpetually kind of underwater, right? Some other niceties here, like you can tag everybody by industry. It's just a demo account. You can create custom tags as well. In fact, let me drill into a client here. Go to client settings, client info. Here I can add as many tags as I want. This could be like who the account manager is on a client. Could be maybe like the service package that those clients are engaged on right now. So you can see everything in a single view. Now the second dashboard inside of Aider here, this is like a month-end close dashboard. Probably more for the folks for whom I'm doing their bookkeeping. Basically a whole bunch of to-dos, but like automated checks that run across all these different categories in the close. So bank recs, invoices, bills, P&L balance sheet. This is the 10,000 foot view. And by the way, this can be done on a monthly close or an annual close. Like if you're just helping clients clean up books at the end of the year. But let's drill into one of these as an example. We've got an overview, but I'm gonna dig into the period close checklist. So first section here is bank reconciliation. Got some unreconciled registered transactions here. Next section is invoices. You got bills, profit and loss. These were all the sections we saw earlier in that dashboard view. And under profit and loss here, you can see, like this will catch any expenses above $100, expenses motor vehicle above $500, transactions above $1,000. And these sort of, what do they call them? Checks? These checks can be set up to be part of like your firm-wide template so that they apply to every single client or on a client-by-client basis. But I'll just show you real quick. I'm back in the company settings here, and I could come down to the P&L section and add a new check. We'll have it pull from transactions is probably what I want. Let's say I just wanted to set up like the $2,500 capitalization thing. That's gonna flag anything from either all accounts or even just a few specific accounts. Here's got the groupings for both QuickBooks and Xero. Basically set up as many of those additional like custom checks that you want so that anytime Aider sees in the ledger activity something that meets that condition, it gets pulled into that checklist of to-dos. Okay, that was the profit and loss section. You got a balance sheet section. So you're gonna bank accounts, fixed assets, and then some additional like custom checks. As part of your Aider onboarding, actually, they will help you build out a template that makes sense for your firm. And that template becomes the default for all of your clients as they come in here, but then on a client-by-client basis, you can customize them as well. You can even download that whole checklist to a Word doc, either for internal purposes or to put it in the client deliverable. The other tabs up here are more like performance-oriented. So you got cash flow, tax and compliance, profitability. But the coolest thing, I think in the whole platform right now, it's how they approach reporting, like building reports and using AI to tailor these reports to the way that you advise. Check this out. Here's a report for the month of April. Actually, let me zoom way out here. You can see down here, it's generating the executive summary and action points. And it's because it uses AI to populate those according to the detail of what is in all the other pages. So for example, page 6 here, you build it out with plain text, but then you pull in like these variables that you can select from that are the actual company data, pull in charts and stuff as well. So for example, I can hit the little pencil here to edit. I can add some text. I can pull in different types of content. These are actually like blocks of content here. I just added this revenue block right here. Or I can add in like a single sort of data points. So gross profit margin. Basically, you build out all these narratives with whatever variables you want to pull in. But these blocks can also be written by AI. So check this out. I'm gonna add a section, choose the sparkles, and we have a similar interface here where I can just write stuff, but then we can also insert data points into the prompt. So if we pull gross profit margin again, that is now part of the prompt that will go to AI to then have it write whatever will go in that section of the report. And this, to me, is actually the real unlock. Because reporting platforms, frankly, like are a dime a dozen these days. And they kind of give you these sort of on rails ways to present financial figures. And it's a whole lot better than nothing, but it isn't really specific to you and your firm and how you advise. And the trap of selling advisory work, I actually don't recommend it for most firms because it consumes the time of your most scarce people, the unicorn who can like shoot from the hip and give your clients valuable insights from their financial results. But the better way to build a more scalable advisory practice is to have like a framework for how exactly you advise a certain type of entrepreneur. So let's say I work with taxidermists. And their issues are like maybe sourcing supplies. Is that what would you call a carcass? You know what I mean, sourcing stuff. Maybe carrying too much inventory and like regulatory compliance when you're selling at trade shows around the country. Those are very specific to taxidermist issues. And so our firm, we can have our own framework for like, here's kind of our, 5-step sort of taxidermy advising framework. But then you take that framework that is yours and you use AI to execute on it. It's the same way we make an advising practice scalable beyond the unicorn person, is we systematize it. We have like an opinionated way of doing this. But that's actually my very favorite way to use AI right now. It's not just asking AI for a thing or for an insight, because anybody can do that. But applying like your proprietary approach to doing this and using AI to like write the first draft of that. Now, because we could prompt this to be like anything, we can also build totally custom reports oriented around what we saw on that advisory dashboard. So maybe we've got a canned report for anytime like cash is trending in the wrong direction. Or even a report for like folks whose books aren't up to date. Here we go. The business hasn't completed their bookkeeping for the period, draft an unprofessional email roasting their non-compliance while offering to help. Because it can see into the data in the ledger, like you can build a report that's like, here's what we have here, here's what we don't have here. It could literally just be like a one-pager that you send over to the client. And it's drafted by AI. Hey, we took a look at your books for this period, and well, there's not much to look at. It's like a ghost town in there. You get the idea. You can build like AI prompt blocks like that into the reporting. And then up at the top here, it actually uses AI to draft the executive summary and the action points based on everything that comes after it. So what we're looking at here is like their default performance report. But you can build your own reports from scratch. You can even pull in budgets and take the best of like standardized sort of on-rails reporting and combine that with how like AI can augment how it presents those results with like the underlying actual company data. Very cool, kind of almost like a new paradigm to how we approach standardized reports, letting AI flex that a bit and customize it to the specific client, to the industry, to the ways that we advise. And this is one of the most exciting things to me about AI for accounting firms right now, is how AI can amplify like your proprietary approach to how you do what you do. Now, this is actually gonna be a talking point in a series of 4 accounting AI conferences we have coming up in the US in July. If you are in LA, Denver, Chicago, Atlanta, I'll throw the event details up on screen here. Aider, Carbon, Xero, and others are putting on these sort of one-day accounting AI events. I'll be there headlining them. I'd love to see you. Along with, honestly, like the who's who of the biggest thinkers in like North American accounting AI right now. Links to register to that down below. Links to Aider as well. We're just scratching the surface. Aider even has like a whole like ChatGPT interface that's backed by any of the clients that you've connected. They've got some canned prompts you can pull from, like building a client meeting agenda, a sales proposal. You can even templatize your own prompts so that the rest of the team can use like maybe your favorite prompts with the clients that they support. They also just rolled out a Carbon integration if you're a Carbon user. A whole bunch of stuff, honestly, we didn't touch on here. Check out Aider down in the video description. You can actually do a 14-day free trial with like no card attached or anything. This has been a demo day where we kind of give you a quick overview of how a platform works. Check out this playlist for like 20 or 30 other demo days. Some of my favorite tech in the space right now.